Okay, hi, my name's MJ. I'm a trans man. I had top surgery about 8 years ago. I chose to leave fat in my chest because I'm fat and I hold a lot of weight in my stomach, so I felt like it made sense with my body. Most men with my build do have moves. It is what it is. So a lot of times I'm asked about like what it was like the first time going shirtless in public, and I've spoken about how like it was kind of anticlimactic because I was very scared. The first time I went shirtless in public, I went to the beach with my family. I didn't know what people's reactions would be, and I was just really scared. And what I learned in that moment is people in real life care a lot less than we think. I'm not like suggesting anyone should not put safety first or anything, but online, like especially when it comes to like people who are heavily transphobic, it's very blatant and out there online. When I went shirtless for the first time in public, absolutely nobody cared. Everybody just thought I was another fat dude. Nobody even gave me a second glance. I had actually gone off by myself the first time I went shirtless because I was afraid, what if something happens? I don't want my son around me. I don't want my family to be impacted. But like I said, nobody cared at all. With that being said, there is something I want to talk about that I've never heard talked about in the trans masculine or trans male community, but that is how for some trans men it takes time getting used to like being shirtless around like friends, family, etc. Being shirtless for the first time in front of strangers was actually a lot easier than the first time being shirtless for me when it came to like my family and stuff like that. It was honestly a little bit awkward at first. I find that it's more awkward with like people who knew me pre-transition. For instance, my son, like this is just how he knows me. He knows me like as a masculine figure. So me being shirtless in front of him wasn't as awkward as it was, say, like my parents. That did take some getting used to. And now that I'm like shirtless in the house a lot, it's not as big of a deal. But I do feel more hesitation when it comes to like people who, were close to me before, who like watched me grow up. And that's just because growing up as a little girl and then a woman, like for so long, it's ingrained in you, like, social norms and everything, which I'm not saying I disagree or agree with, but it is what it is. But that's how I was raised, like as a little girl and then into a woman. It was much harder, even post-op for me anyways, to break those barriers with like people who like I actually knew very well beforehand, that I had to practice those norms in front of and stuff like that. Like we actually have lake rights on our property and I have not gone down. They're so nice. Everybody's so nice. My neighbors are fantastic. It's nothing to do with like how they act or anything, but I'm like nervous to go shirtless because like, a lot of them like I grew up with and stuff. So like I'm nervous, like would it be awkward? You know what I mean? And they've even reassured me like nobody cares. But I just haven't like been able to like bring myself to go down there and be shirtless just because I don't know, I feel like it's a little bit different like when people knew you before. And I really wanted to do this video because I don't hear a lot of trans men talking about it. Obviously top surgery is very freeing. It was one of the best decisions I've ever made and I will always stand by that. But because we feel so like grateful for the opportunity and so excited to like embark on a new journey, I feel like sometimes it's like looked down upon to talk about areas in which you might feel uncomfortable or things might be awkward. Also, this is very hard for some people to talk about because when you even mention like when it comes to medically transitioning, like hormones, like top surgery, any like downsides or anything you're struggling with it, people immediately use that as ammo, like why you shouldn't transition, why you must regret it, and that's absolutely not true. I am so glad that I got top surgery, and like I said, I got it 8 years ago. Not one day ever have I ever regretted it. But it was a big decision, and with a big decision comes experiences that aren't always like wonderful. And there have been some times where it has like taken some getting used to being shirtless. And I know talking about this comes with indefinite hassle, of course, but that's okay because I know it'll reach the right people and resonate with the right people. So yeah, MJ out. Hope you have a good day.